JMC 6000 here, and before me I have the brand new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus Hybrid, 2-liter turbo hybrid, the first ever in a premier version. So what I wanted to do in this video is kind of do a walk around and kind of go through some of the things that I find interesting about this vehicle. I'm in a parking lot here, but this is the only spot I can find to really kind of do this video, so bear with me with different sounds. But anyway, let's do a walk around. So let's begin number one with the front end. So I'm going to lock it real quick, and then I'm going to unlock it, and you can see the lighting signature right here. And this is the base trim. As it goes up here, the turn signal, all LED, headlights, high beams, all LED. We got air curtains right up front here. No fog lights, but those are functional air curtains. You got the new Lincoln grille. This front on the Premier does not light up, nor does the Lincoln symbol, but you can see it's blue in the background to represent that this is the hybrid. I love the way the new grille looks. You got the radar sensor down here, and then up top we got the camera up top there. Again, this is the new face of Lincoln. So let's go around the side here. These right here, it's riding on Goodyear Eagle tires. Not a big fan of Goodyear's, but anyway, these size is 255. Or no, sorry, 255 50 R19. So it's a 255. Actually, it's a 60 R19. Running on Goodyear Eagle tires. Nautilus right here in blue because this represents as a hybrid. Anyway, it is manufactured in China. This says the engine transmission from China, but I think the engine is actually made here in the U.S. We're going to double check on that. But anyway, pretty much this is the brand new Lincoln Nautilus. This is the back here. And let's go ahead and unlock it. Oh, look at that lighting signature. Oh, what's that? That's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and open up the back end here. Power lift gate even on the base model. Look how much room you have back here. You get a spare tire. And these are power folding seats for the second row. LED lighting. There's Nautilus right here. Very cool. Let's go ahead and shut that up. All right, and then let's look at the window sticker here. So this is the base Premier Nautilus in the 2-liter MPC. We're going to look underneath the hood. Not plug-in hybrid, full hybrid electric vehicle with the eCVT. And this thing, and the only option that it has is the 2-liter hybrid powertrain for $1,500 and the white platinum exterior tri-coat for $5,406. That's actually a pretty good deal for what you're getting. I mean, I've seen videos of people reviewing Nautiluses that are the reserve trim, the black label. How about somebody just review a Premier trim? This trim is so well equipped. Wait till we get into the side, but before we do, let me go ahead and show you this powertrain underneath the hood. I'm so impressed. Ooh, ho, ho, ho. All right, so we got the 2-liter MPC EcoBoost engine, and then paired up to this 2-liter MPC is the HF55 hybrid eCVT. And what's awesome about this eCVT, it's a mechanical eCVT. It's a mechanical all-wheel drive system. So what Ford does, because this is standard all-wheel drive, they do not put an electric motor in the back. They actually have a mechanical center diff, then a prop shaft that goes all the way back to a rear differential that gives power to the rear end from this hybrid electric transmission, or this eCVT right here. Again, this is the new HF55, and this is the 2-liter MPC 4-cylinder. Absolute amazing smooth engine, and I'm just excited about what Ford is doing here. This is absolutely amazing. Absolutely. And it looks so good under here. I mean, everything's all nice and laid out. I mean, you got some hoses and wires and different things, but it doesn't look too bad under here, and it's easily serviceable. And you can see the coils right here. You know, you got access to the transmission. You got your air box right here, the dipstick right here, where you add oil. And this is for your hybrid. This is for the engine coolants. Everything's all logically laid out, and it looks great underneath this hood. It really looks good underneath this hood. They did a good job. They really, really did. I think somebody else mentioned in a YouTube video, I'm going to mention in this video, the quality. Even though this is made in China, the quality coming out, from what I can see here, is really, really good. One of the neat things, now, if you know something about the hybrid powertrain in the Maverick doesn't have an accessory drive belt, but this 2-liter does, and it only drives one thing, and that's the water pump. So there is a belt, and it's for the water pump only. Other than that, there's no other accessory drive system on this vehicle. So let's go ahead and hop inside. I'll show you my likes and dislikes and kind of go through the rest of this review. Oh my, look at this. So beautiful. Wow. Let's go ahead and fire this thing up. Awesome. All right, so what I have in front of me again is the new Lincoln Nautilus, and we have the Lincoln Digital Experience, full operating system of, thank you so much for that, full operating system of Google and Android, kind of married into one system. We're going to go through that here in a little bit. And then I had the full, I forget how wide this screen is. Is it like 42 inches, 46? I forget what it is. But here's a neat thing. It's actually 2 screens put together. You got one portion here, and then you got one portion here. So there's actually a split right here in the center. It's actually 2 screens put together. But let's kind of go over my likes and dislikes before I start going through the screens and everything else and what I have before us here. Absolute beautiful, beautiful vehicle. I think Ford did an amazing, and Lincoln did an amazing job. So one of the things I wanted to say is quality. One of the likes I have about this vehicle is the way it feels. And I'll go over this in my driving portion about how different things are, but the way this vehicle feels, it feels immense. It's amazing. Everything is soft to the touch. I mean, right here, I mean, this is the base model, this is the Premier. Everything is just nice and soft and just some quality. There is some harder plastics down below here, but everything else is just nice and soft. I love the ambient lighting, the waves of ambient lighting. And then you come across to the screen, which is my second like. In fact, take that back. My second like is this right here, not so much this. For me, I don't care the way about the full screen. It doesn't matter to me. I don't really care if it's right here or if it's right here. For me, it's a little bit overwhelming, but I don't care either way. I mean, it's cool that we have the maps up here and everything else, and I think that's cool and everything. But for me, I love that the screen, this right here, is amazing. It's so clear. It's so nice. And as I go through it, you got the touch screen here. You go back to Android Auto. Look at that. Put some maps right back up there. And it doesn't have maps on the native screen because I'm not signed into anything. But we have, different drive modes, your normal, conserve, excite, slippery, deep conditions, pretty awesome. We go back, we have vehicle status. It gives you tire pressure, which I have right there, oil life, ambient lighting. You can choose your ambient lighting. Right now I have it on blue, but I can easily change it to green or purple or red, ice blue. We're going to put it back on regular blue. And then all kinds of different settings. But this system responds so well. I can go through my apps and all that. It does have a lot of fingerprints on it. That's my only downside about this system, but we're not going to get into the negatives yet. But this is a beautiful system. Absolute beautiful, beautiful system. And then my final positive, or my final like about this vehicle, is the way it looks. It looks absolutely stunning. It looks gorgeous. And this truly feels like a mid-size sub. This isn't a compact sub or just an entry-level mid-size. This truly is a mid-size sub, and it feels like almost the room of an Aviator in this Nautilus, just with 2 rows instead of 3. So now let's go to some of my dislikes that I have with the Nautilus, and then I'll give you my overall impressions before we get into the driving portion. So number 1 dislike that I have, and I understand why they did it, but the steering wheel. In fact, there's 2 dislikes about the steering wheel. Number 1, I'm not a big fan of the shape. It's kind of weird. you get used to it, but it is kind of weird. I love the leather on it, but the steering wheel is kind of weird and kind of goofy and oafy looking. I'm not a big fan of it, but I understand why they did it, why they gave us this oval steering wheel, to see the speed right here and everything that you see with the screen, so this doesn't obstruct your view. I think there could have been a better way to do that. They could have gave us a regular steering wheel, and I don't know. But anyway, Lincoln decided to do this. Again, I'm not a big fan of this steering wheel, but it's okay. It's kind of nice. Second thing I'm not a big fan of is when you do this. Look on my screen. It actually shows you what each kind of button and knob does. I'm not a big fan of that, especially with the cruise control. Here's my cruise. I'll turn it on, and then I have to set my adaptive, my following, resume, set. It's just, I wish it was a little bit better, and I wish it was on the D-pad instead of bringing it up on the screen. Anyway, so that's another gripe I have. I'm not a big fan about that. I know this comes with Blue Cruise. I don't have Blue Cruise set up, so I haven't driven in Blue Cruise just yet. But again, I'm not a big fan of, you don't see anything until you touch the D-pad. So I'm not a big fan about that. And then finally, my final thing that I want to gripe about, and this is I understand what Ford is doing, and they're shutting, or not shutting down, but they're trying to redistribute the plant in Ontario that built the old Edge and old Nautilus, and why they're shipping this from China, because the new Lincoln Nautilus is being launched in China first, and then it's coming over here. I think Ford ought to bring production maybe back to Ontario for this. But I will say this, it's kind of a plus and minus, because for once, I'm totally impressed with what they've done here. The quality coming from the Chinese factory is actually really, really impressive. I'm genuinely surprised and impressed. And this is based off the C2 architecture. So this is a stretched, widened version of the same architecture that my Maverick's built on, that the Escape is built on, and that the current Corsair is built on. So, again, it's kind of a plus and minus. So there you go. These are my likes and dislikes. From what I can tell, Ford has did an excellent job with this thing. Is there some things that can be improved, especially with this thing? Yes, of course. And we don't have to rely upon the screen so much. I wish the screen would give me a little bit more information. I appreciate the maps. I appreciate telling me about my cruise control and all that. I love the way that looks, but I wish I had like an RPM gauge or something like that, or maybe I wish this was configurable. It is not. This is pretty much how you see it. Now you can choose different backgrounds. Let me go into that real quick, if I can find out where that is. Hold on. I'm going to get there. We go into display. Now I can choose different backgrounds. I can choose constellation, which brings up a cool little constellation background. Tranquil, which is very minimalistic. Very minimalistic. Very, if you were driving at night, that would be a nice background to have. Engage kind of gives like a sporty, the miles per hour kind of went sideways, and it kind of gives like a sporty look to everything. And then we have Inspire. This is probably one of my favorite ones. It has that desert theme in the background. Pretty cool. And as I'm driving, as we see in my driving portion, you can see like waves that are coming up as I'm going faster or slower. Anyway, so again, my overall impression of the Lincoln Nautilus, I believe it's an amazing effort from Lincoln, from Ford, and I think it's going to pave the way for a lot more things to come. One of the highlights of this thing is this right here, the Lincoln Digital Experience. I know it's going to be introduced as a Ford Digital Experience in the new Explorer, and it's coming out as a Lincoln Digital Experience in the new Aviator. But this right here, this screen right here, and I love how it connects with Android Auto. It looks amazing. And you may be like, well, John, all your touch points for your climate control don't move. Well, they don't move, but they're not a hard button. And I know that. The only hard button I have is for the max defrost. But this works so well. There's no delay. I can bring on my heated seats and everything else. I can do my fan right here. I can kind of portion where my airflow is, which is pretty cool. And look, I do on body, off body, motion, close. It's a pretty cool setup. Anyway, this is, I wish I had a hard button, or I wish I had a soft key button for my recirculate instead of going in here, but that's all right. Max defrost is right here, rear defrost, AC. Again, this works very, very well. And I'm pretty impressed with what Ford has done here. Anyway, appreciate you guys. Let's look at the apps real quick. Look at all these apps. We have Google Assistant, Play Store, Maps, Phone, and a lot of this hinges upon you signing into your Google account to get all this information to populate and to do stuff at the Play Store and everything else. So yeah, news, YouTube, again, everything hinges upon you signing in, even games, which you can download certain games from the Play Store, which I'm not signed in yet. If I hit Play Store, it's going to prompt me to see it sign in. So I'm not going to do that. We're just going to go back to Android Auto, and there we go. Awesome. All right, well, again, this has been the new Lincoln Nautilus SUV 2024 with the 2-liter hybrid powertrain. You guys be blessed. Let me drop some questions, comments. Let me know what you think about this thing, and stay tuned for the driving portion coming up right now. All right, JMC 6000 here behind the wheel of the 2024 Lincoln Nautilus Hybrid. Yes, that's right. You heard me correctly. I said hybrid. So let's go ahead and take it out on the road. My son is with me right now. We are going to go on the highway here. And I just want to say, at first glance, the screams can be a little bit overwhelming. But they're actually pretty nice to get used to. And I'm ready to enter the highway here. Now, I want you to hear right now, I should probably put it in Excite mode. All right, here we go. Faux shifting. Wow, this thing really hauls. Again, this is the first time that Ford/Lincoln anybody that I know of has equipped a turbocharged engine next to an eCVT. I'm going to put it back in normal. And one of the things I want to say about this particular vehicle is it is smooth. It is smooth. I'm not quite sure what the tires are on it. Well, actually, I do know what the tires are on it. I just said that in the beginning part of the video. But I will say the tire noise is a little much, but I am on a very rough concrete surface, and the concrete surface can exhibit a lot of noise into the cabin. Once I get on the smooth surface, totally hushes up. So again, tires, depending on what tires, what tires we have on this, will change the way it sounds. But one of the things I will say is this vehicle is super smooth. It pulls effortlessly. The 2-liter is very smooth. The 2-liter MPC, very smooth. Again, handling, I would say this handles, like any kind of mid-size SUV. This is truly a mid-size SUV. Kind of handles like a mid-size SUV, nothing really fancy. The suspension here in this package, in this preferred trim, is very soft. Nothing really fancy about it. It absorbs the bumps fairly well. But one thing I have to say is I just love how this thing drives, how it feels. As of right now, we're getting decent miles per gallon. I've been kind of hard on it, so I've been averaging about 20. But easily this thing, and right now I'm doing 75 on the highway, and it's in electric driving. It's in electric driving. And this is with the new HF55 eCVT transmission. So anyway, quite impressed. It's a beautiful vehicle, drives pretty well. I'm impressed with the hybrid system. Again, right now on the highway, miles per gallon is going up to about 21, 22, and it seems to do very, very well. Again, the screen is beautiful, nice to look at. It's a little bit overwhelming. I love the Lincoln digital experience. So much better than Sync 4, so much better than Sync 3, much more responsive than either one of those systems. But anyway, I'm in here, and it's a beautiful experience. Just trying to get, I don't like how I don't have, well, I'm going to go through that, but I don't like how I don't have what these pads do until you touch them and they come up on the screen. I'd rather have symbols up on here. But other than that, and the steering wheel is actually not bad. You may think, oh, that would take a while getting used to it. It actually doesn't take that long to get used to the steering wheel. I was actually quite used to it fairly easily. So, all right, well, this has been the driving portion here behind the wheel of the Lincoln Nautilus 2024 Hybrid Turbo eCVT Hybrid. All right, you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and stay tuned for more info and more videos that I have upcoming. Appreciate you guys so much. Thank you, and we'll catch you on the next one.